We got a nice short brief this morning. One birthday this week, Muchie. Says Saturday the 12th, which is just gone, but I thought it was during the week personally. But wish Muchie a happy birthday when you see him. No anniversaries this week either, so we'll go straight to the switching. Somebody said,
Yeah, I'll just read out pretty brief this week. Got a new switch safe focus, which will be probably stuck up around the depot. To our goals at the moment and for the future. So make sure you read that and get through it.
What are they, Rex?
I'll read them out now. So we got 4. Encourage frequent communications with the HCC field services for all switching crew members, including trainees, apprentices, and maintain confidence skills for Geo radio. So make sure you're swapping it around so it's not the same bloke every time. Role reversals, keep all members of our switching team confident and competent, both an operator and checker. Just make sure you're swapping those roles. Don't have to be every day, but give everyone a go during the week. Reinforce operator and checker roles, working independently. Good operators just operate and checkers just check. Practice positive identification of switching devices, physically identify devices once confirmed. So we'll stick that up around a few different spots in the depot so you don't forget. And just on top of that, encouraging of switching near misses and hazards. So don't forget to encourage each other to report those, create good work culture. And
switching alerts was pretty quiet last week, which is always good, but we just had a switching alert and a switching bulletin. So we got on the 2nd of February 2022, obviously. Unplanned switching was being carried out to repair a cable fault, a fault. The fault was believed to be between 2 transformers. In order to isolate, they closed an LS at a transformer, which then caused the CB to open, which basically took the whole feeder out. And it was discovered that at one of the transformers, the cables were transposed. I think we've had that a couple of times here. We've gone to operate something and the construction is wrong. So there was no injury to personnel or no damage to plant. However, there was a loss of supply to 984 customers for approximately 65 minutes. So this event highlights the importance of good communication between HV crews and the HVC. And it's currently under investigation. But again, there's not really much we can do about that. If the instructions are correct, there's not really, we can't do a whole lot about it. We just keep communicating with them while you operate. And if there's any issues, just discuss with them your intentions and try and get their input as well. And then the switching bulletin 180. So it's just basically highlighting that switching manuals, the hard copy of manuals are no longer going to be issued and they're going to be deemed as obsolete. So if we do have any hard copies as of the 21st of March, they're going to be no longer seen as an up-to-date manual. So if you are relaying your switching to those manuals, you may find yourself a bit caught out if there's something that's been missed in those. So we'll probably just go through a massive purge if we have them. So just keep that in mind. It's all going to be digital. So that's it. That's all I got.
Thanks, Evan Reese. Next up, we got the Enable on events. So some near misses that have been reported. So first one was some incorrect packaging, I believe, was in the depot. You know much about it, Greenie? There's packaging of goods considered suitable for transport, and it says that a transformer was not screwed to a pallet as per work instruction 1001. You know much about that one, Greenie?
I just did screw a transformer to the pallet even though it had multiple straps to it. Wasn't really concerned most of the guys because they don't strap the pallet anyway for return.
No one's probably here for the camera, so he says he had straps on it, which is good, you need straps on it, but as per work instruction 1001, which I'll refresh Greenie on, you actually need to screw transformers into their pallets like they come when they're new. And also for the circuit one, you've got to chop them, alright? It's more for Greenie, make sure they go back to schools in that way.
So that's transformers, but for any packaging, if you're not sure of how it needs to be fixed to get moved, whether it be just going out to site, or if you're getting it ready for it to go to salvage, even from site, call someone, ask them questions, make sure it's sent in properly because they're pretty hot on it at Angley Park. Alright, next one. Whilst conducting HV checks prior to repairing cable, it was noticed that a small tree branch was breaching the clearance of the DF, which was a limit of isolation. The switching sheet was amended, both feeders placed in on-auto, and they did some tree trimming to clear that away. Then work proceeded without incident. There's not much to improve there. I think the guys done a great job out on site. They've gone and have a look at their limits of isolation. Only thing I can think of is if it was part of your isolation to open that DF would be to check it, make sure that those trees were clear. We're going to have a limit. Any other feedback on that one? You guys had similar scenarios? No? Alright, next one reported after restoring power whilst performing three-phase service testing, it was discovered there was full voltage across one of the fuse bases. After not being able to determine the cause, the service mechanic was called. The mechanic identified the issue was caused by the J tariff, which wasn't able to be isolated through any of the switches in the meter box. They've got some suggestions on here. So the service mechanic was aware of the issue. Once the J tariff meter was disconnected from behind the meter board, typical readings were found, and supply was restored without any further incident. Alright, so they put in a good suggestion there. Anyone else got any suggestions for any issues, service testing like that?
If we can't get a switch mechanic straight away, do we leave them off?
Yes. Yeah, 100%.
So it's out in someone's shack, out bush somewhere.
Yeah, it's not
What
safe
it is.
to store it in the off. Did everyone hear that? No? So yeah, if you're not sure, if it's not safe to restore, you leave it off. We should have cards in the trucks if you've run out coming to see us as to why people's power's been left off after work that's been done. And if it's unsafe to restore the service, we leave it off until we can get an electrical mechanic to come out. Could take a while, could be really quick, but that's our process.
I reckon Barrett and I had something like that out. What we're doing was we subbed out to Lincoln, we had something similar to that. We went to test the service and it wasn't full supply across the fuse, and they had to get a electric mechanic out. Their local one took, we don't know how many hours, but it would take a while. So
Yeah, it's better than something else going wrong. Thanks for that, guys. Next one. This was on the Wallaroo trip. So while changing poles, someone has stepped on a pole laying on the ground. That pole moved slightly because it had a footing, concrete footing still on it, and the person who stepped on it has had a slight slip. Alright, so another tripping hazard. Looking for suggestions from people.
That one sounds minor, but it's almost exactly what happened to the guy on Kangaroo Island that broke his leg. So these things can happen, guys, so you've got to be careful with your surroundings.
What do you think is a good idea, Kendall? When walking around the work site? Yeah, so have a good look around. Yeah, and look out for each other as well. I believe the person who rocked up on that site was jumping through a few sites that day, so they might not have been fully aware of their surroundings when they got there. So look out for your mates, point stuff out, cut it off if we have to, or just get rid of it as soon as possible. Alright, some general depot stuff. First one is regarding sickies. So if you do call in sick, if you could please call call your TSWA to advise them that you are sick, and especially if you have any COVID-like symptoms, so we can get that escalated ASAP for anyone who could have potentially been in close contact with you guys, alright? That'd be much appreciated. And the other one, there's this new Smart Suit app. I don't know if it's new, but it basically has all of our chemical manifest on it. There is a printout going on the safety board, Mark.
Yep.
And I've just had a quick look at it. On that printout, it's got an account, a username and password. Once you're signed in, it'll synchronise. Make sure you hit remember me, because I didn't, and you've got to sign in again. You hit remember me, go in there and it will come up with all the chemical information for everything, I reckon, across the whole business. I started flicking through, got about 100 chemicals in, and I was still at the letter B. So it's got everything, but there's a search function, and it's got all your safety data, people to call, stuff like that. All right. So it's a new place they're installing. I guess it's like your MSDS, material safety data sheet stuff. Cool. Any questions on that one? No. All right. So just post it up on the safety board. If you got any questions, come see myself, Mark, Tinny. Last one we've got is a safety alert. So this one's failure to apply a park brake. So late February there was a power line crew changing a line pole. Looks to be down near the beach, and the photo that they've shown is looks like it's fairly level ground, slight incline on it. So once they've got the pole out and they wanted to bring the crane and tipper in, they've moved the EWP approximately 20 metres away and gone back to the work site. And it looks like pretty early after that, some of the TSWs have noticed that EWP has started rolling backwards. They've run over to it. One of them's managed to jump in the truck to jump on the foot brake, but the truck has still made contact with the tipper, and it's crushed the wheel guard, around the CTIs there. So that could have been real dangerous if anyone was between that truck and that tipper. I don't know how you can put a handbrake on, at least put it in park or something, but that one was pretty dangerous. So there was no injuries, thank goodness. There's no damage to the EWP, but minimal damage to the tipper. It's currently under investigation. So not all trucks have an alarm when the handbrake doesn't go off. So make sure you engage your handbrakes. And that's all on that one. So that is everything. Helen, have you got anything, bro?
First of all, this was meant to go to Repsy last week. Today, but he's not here, so Rex, you put it in, mate. That's what we're doing, switching near miss, which turned into a switching incident averted. Now, these are really good, as you would have seen the safety meter last week. The stats, as they go up, switching incidents have been going down. Quite often, a new will turn into a switching incident averted, which is looked at closely by the circles, shared that information across us, not only us, but the whole business. So, Jeremy, thank you, mate. Now lastly, I'll just get you to pass half them round, just as I read this out. I've had some rumours lately from two or three different people about people coming to work unfit for work. Now the reason I'm calling it a rumour is because I'm hearing about it 2 to 3 weeks after it's happened in 2 to 3 different versions. So firstly, if anyone has concerns that someone's unfit for work out the site and you can't resolve it out there, find out that they are, or wherever that leads to, you need to be calling me straight away. The most important thing is their safety, the people that are working with safety, and the public safety. So I don't want to be hearing about this sort of stuff very down the track, because it's just too late. Now, one thing that was the same in all these stories I heard about was when working away. Now obviously, guys like to get together for dinner and beers after work, and I support that, I encourage that. I think it's great for culture, great for morale, great for building relationships with the group. But it's up to each and every one of you to make sure you know when to have that last beer, all right? Because it's your responsibility to make sure you're fit for work the next day. Coming to work unfit obviously brings a whole other level of risk to what we do. We're high risk as soon as we drive out the depot, driving heavy lift trucks, operating EWPs, cranes, working on live low voltage, high voltage, HV switching, working in traffic. If you've got a guy that's meant to be checking you, that's not fit for work, you're not going to feel safe. So make sure you're doing the right thing by your workers, make sure that you're making them feel safe when you're being fit for work, all right? So I've just handed out the rights and responsibilities for workers, and it's part of the drug and alcohol testing procedure. So I just want to remind everyone that we can and we will be doing random drug and alcohol testing. Now this can happen here, or it can happen when we're working away, all right? So make sure you're fit for work, and not because of that, so you're safe to work with the guy next to you, all right? If anyone is having any dramas that's causing them to drink or take drugs or things like that, just remember the employee assistance program is available and it's confidential. All right, and that's all I'm going to say about that at the moment. Make sure you come to work with the right guys. Thank you.
Well, I reckon that's everything, lads. So enjoy your week, have a safe week, and yeah, cheers.